Look, if you're starting an agency or trying to get an agency off the ground, there is a hard truth you need to know. 99% of the information out there is just a load of shit that will just burn you out, waste your time, and leave you with an empty wallet and broken dreams. And I've spent almost the last 10 years building a real agency while raising kids, while having a mortgage and all the commitments in life. And you need to think of this video as a wake-up call or a slap in the face, as I want to help you avoid the noise in this market and explain to you why you shouldn't believe everything you see on the internet. So if you've been watching other 22-year-olds pitch 10K a month from rented Lambos and you're wondering why it's not working for you, then you need to watch this video, because this is the video you've been waiting for. The problem is the SMMA industry is built on hype and not substance. There's a whole bunch of people giving advice in this space, especially on YouTube and TikTok, that haven't built real agencies. Yes, they've made some money in this space, but has their agency stood the test of time? Has their agency seen a downturn? Has their agency been around for longer than, say, a year? No, a lot of the guys that are trying to teach you how to run agencies have barely run an agency themselves. They don't know what it's like to run a proper business. They've kind of stumbled into something that works, and they're just learning enough so that they can proclaim themselves as an expert in the space, so they can sell you a course and put you into a funnel on how to build an agency. And if you really unpack the layers, and if you really sit down and look at some of these gurus in the space, they're all regurgitating the same stuff. They're all saying the same things in slightly different ways. How to outreach 100 people a day, how to close 4 clients for 2K a month, how to offer free trials. It's all the same shit. They've just repackaged it slightly differently for their audience. And the problem is, you're not learning a business, you're basically learning influencer cosplay. A lot of the self-proclaimed gurus in this space and a lot of the people that you look up to are really not providing any genuine new value. They're just actively looking at what works to get views, and they're slightly tweaking the title. They're not trying to genuinely educate you on the things that work. They're trying to get eyeballs into a funnel so that they can sell a program. And all it takes is for you to slow down for a second and look at the person you're getting advice from and go, has this person actually done it? Is this person providing genuine advice? Or have I seen what they're saying before repeated by someone else and they've just slightly tweaked it? And just look through the fancy clothes and the rented Lambos and go, are they just doing this for aura maxing, for lack of a better term? Trying to improve their aura so that you go, wow, this guy's really made it. When really, they haven't been in business enough to know if actually made it or not. Yes, they've made some money, but is the money gonna last? That's the question you need to ask. The next thing is, there is so much information out there on acquisition and how to get clients, how to cold call, how to do sales and all that, and absolutely zero on service delivery and operations and running an agency properly. And that ties into the first thing I was talking about, is that a lot of these gurus know sales real well. That's how they got to where they are, but they haven't been in business long enough to learn how to deliver the service properly and keep clients forever and run an agency like a proper business. And so they don't feel comfortable talking about it because they're worried they're going to get exposed about things that they don't know about. You know, it's quite funny when you look at these gurus and you look at the influencers in this SMMA space, none of them ever teach how to keep clients for longer than 60 days. Isn't that funny? It's just an observation that I've seen. I've looked through several of these influencer videos and they're all about how to sell the service. They're all about how to get clients into the door. And maybe they might have a video or two on how to do Facebook ads or how to deliver the service, but not about how to keep clients for longer than 60 days. So it makes me wonder, do any of these guys keep their clients for a long time? Or do they just keep them for 30 days? They leave because the service is not good and they're good at sales. They just churn and burn through people, lose one, get two sort of situation. Now, that works really well when the economy is good, but what happens when the economy is not good? That strategy does not work anymore, and a lot of these influencers that you look up to will just disappear into the night as their agencies fold. And trust me when I say, you don't want to be on the acquisition treadmill. There are ways to get clients and keep them forever. It's called delivering good service and providing good customer support. If you do those two things well and you combine it with an excellent strategy for getting referrals and really working to upsell people, then you won't have to do as much acquisition. Trust me when I say a lot of these influencers would much rather not have big sales teams and much rather not have big ad spend and just be able to keep clients for longer so that they pay you for longer. But they just haven't worked out how to do it. That's why there's no videos on it. And that's what's creating a self-perpetuating loop that to be successful in the SMMA space, you just have to sell, which is not the truth. I've been very successful in this space. I don't have a sales team. I just focus on delivering an amazing service and keeping clients forever. It's definitely possible to do. And the life is a whole lot simpler when you don't have to deal with appointment setters and a sales team. And I like to think that's the point of difference with me. You know, and this is the sad state of affairs. I understand why they make videos like that. I have been making videos for 6 years on YouTube and I have 1,600 subscribers because I just talk about service delivery. I just talk about keeping clients for a long time. And I just talk about running agencies really well. And it's not sexy. It's not as sexy as how to make 10K a month in 30 days. It's not as sexy as how to do 100 cold calls or master cold calling. It's not as sexy, but you will realize the importance of videos like that when you're stuck in those situations and you go on YouTube and you cannot find any information about it. And that leads me to the next thing I want to talk about, which is the 10K a month goal is just a wholesale trap. I don't know why in this space 10K a month became the flag of success. I think it's a great goal to aim for at the start, but so many people are attracted to this arbitrary 10K a month number. And what I don't like about it is they'll do absolutely anything they can to get that number and they'll clamor over running a good agency just to achieve an arbitrary number. What you should be aiming to do is grow sustainably. What the flag in this space shouldn't be an arbitrary number like 10K a month or 100K a month. It should be retention. It should be what do I take home after taxes. It should be customer sentiment and having clients that are happy forever. It should be how many referrals you get. They should be the flag in the ground because if you do that stuff well, you will have an agency that is very sustainable. If you just arbitrarily aim for 10K a month and just focus solely on that and at the sacrifice of everything else that's required to run an agency, you will fail. It may not be today, it may not be in 6 months, but you will fail because what will happen is that you'll fundamentally built your agency on a house of cards, and when that house of cards topples over, there'll be nothing to support it. There'll be no base and you'll be back to square one earning $0 a month. And ultimately 10K a month doesn't mean anything if your soul's fried and it burns you out trying to get to that arbitrary number in the process. And another thing I really, out of all the things I dislike the most about this space is how predatory the influencers are in this space. They almost all prey on your excitement to make money quick. And there's some of you out there that don't think like that, but the majority of people in this space, they get a hard on when they see a video that's like, get to 10K a month in 15 days, get to 100K a month in 6 months. They get a hard on because they want to get there. But I would be fine with that if the videos that they produce were actual roadmaps to do that. But most of them are just 15 minutes of humble bragging and about 2 minutes of actual tangible insights and a link to the program that they have that teaches all the information, hypothetically, of how to get there. If you just understood that you don't have to rush getting to where you want to be, then you would start to see these guys for what they are, which is fundamentally the blind leading the blind. And that's what I really don't like. A lot of the people that you trust your livelihood to, being an agency owner, really, they've barely done it themselves. And because of that, the information you're getting may work right now, but it hasn't been proven in the past, and it doesn't mean it will work in the future. And a lot of these guys have not been running their businesses long enough to be able to provide you the tangible stuff that will actually help you succeed, which is how to run an agency properly and keep clients for a very long time and build the structures and systems to be able to do that. What they know how to do is sell really well and grow revenue really quick, but the quicker your revenue grows, the harder you will fall when there's no base underneath it and everything starts to tumble over because you don't have the business acumen to keep you there. Now, you may have gotten to this point in the video and go, oh, Jimmy's just shitting on a whole bunch of other people in this space. It's not like that. What I'm trying to do is explain to everyone that you really need to be conscious of who you get information from on the internet. Or because someone looks successful on the outside doesn't mean that they know what they're doing. Okay, there's a whole bunch of people out there that are successful that just wholesale scam dollars to get there. And this space has a disproportionately large amount of people that have. And there's so many people that are just willing to hand over thousands and thousands of dollars to these guys without doing any real diligence on if they actually know how to run a business. Because at the end of the day, running an SMMA is like running any other business. And yes, you can be good at selling, you can generate revenue, but you've got to learn the other side of doing this. If you don't learn the other side of doing this, then at some point that will bite you in the ass. And I'm speaking from almost a decade of experience in this space. And I just also want to reiterate that running an SMMA can give you a lot of freedom. Look at myself. I have a pretty good life, but it's only with the right mindset and systems. The thing is with all these gurus teaching you how to sell is that once you know how to sell and once you got your processes in, you find that's actually the easy part of doing this. It's the easy part because there's so much demand and so little supply of what we do. The hard bit is how do you get someone to pay you forever? The hard bit is how do you get amazing results with Facebook ads or Google ads or SEO? That's the hard bit. Even to this day, almost a decade later, I'm still working on that. The sales side is honed in. The sales side is very easy once you build a reputation and very easy once you get a couple of case studies and you can prove you can do good work. It's about having good systems for getting getting referrals and having good systems for upselling, like I said in the past. But you only retrospectively realize how silly it was to spend so much time learning about sales once you realize how easy it actually is. And you went, ah, shit, I wish I hadn't spent hundreds and hundreds of hours learning sales. I could have spent 10, got the information I need, and then just committed the time and saddle to actually get the experience, and then spent the other 90 hours learning how to deliver a good service and keep clients and retain clients and run your business like a productized service. All those things, knowing your numbers, knowing your KPIs, knowing your margins, knowing your absorption rates, knowing how to deal with customer complaints, knowing how to deal with confrontation, learning how to communicate properly. They're all the skills you need to learn, and you can only learn them from someone that's been in the trenches. But everyone seems to forget that because they're so excited and they're so wrecked when they see a video that comes out, how to make 10K a month in 14 days. And unfortunately, that's the state of play. Hopefully a few people watch this and go, actually, Jimmy has got a point. I'm sick of seeing those videos and I want to learn how to run an agency properly.